Everybody, welcome back to the workshop. It's Thursday afternoon. My name's Levi Woods, and today I'm going to do a little tool review. As always, the tools that I use in my videos are linked down below in the description. And today I thought this is the very first segment of a tool review, so I thought I would do my favorite tool in the workshop. You guys have probably seen me use this little guy a ton of times. This is the Makita variable speed 3/8 by 21 inch belt sander. It has got a ton of features that I love about it, and it is an absolute workhorse. I use it every single day in my shop. I'm going to go over some of the features that this particular tool has that I love. The first thing is that it is AC powered. The fact that I can plug it in means I can use it almost anywhere. I use a lot of air tools in my shop, and this one's great because it's not air powered, so I can just take it with me. If I have to go to set, I always take this tool with me. Now that I've got it plugged in, I can show you some of the other features. The first thing is, it's a belt sander. So there's this little tiny belt, and it comes off really easily. You just pull this lever down right here, and the belt just pops right off the side. So that's how easy it is to change the belt. There's a directional arrow which shows which direction the belt is turning, and there's matching arrows on the inside of the belt. So we always want to make sure that we put them on the correct way. So to put on the new belt, we just track it in like that, push the lever. This is the 3/8 inch arm that comes standard with this tool. You can get the 1/4 inch width or the 1/2 inch width as well, but I've only ever used it with the 3/8 width, and I love it. The next thing you're gonna see is this knob right here, and what that does is it tracks this belt left to right. So once we get it going, you can see this belt runs nice and centered on that arm. And if I adjust this dial, I can actually move the belt over slightly to the left or to the right. Now you notice this is a really low speed. I almost never use this tool at that low speed. On the handle, there's a dial indicator. So that's the lowest it can go, speed 1. And when you pull the trigger, it's either on or off at that speed. So if we want to crank it up, I almost always use this at 6. And that's the speed I use it at all of the time. Now looking down the tool, the next thing you'll notice is this lever right here. So this lever, what it does is it allows you to change the angle of the head. You can just change it to whatever angle you want and then lock it in place. And this lock works extremely well. The trigger is on off, as I said, but on the inside there's this button. So it's fantastic if you're doing something in the vise, or if you're doing something for a long period of time and you don't want the strain of like pulling that trigger finger, you push this down and push the button in and then release the trigger and it will just stay on, which is a fantastic feature of this tool. To release, you just push it again and it'll turn off. You'll notice that I have a piece of tape over this dust ejection port. I don't use this tool with the dust collection system, and I probably should, but I don't. And oftentimes I mount this tool in my bench, which I'll show you in a moment how I do that. And what happens is the dust ends up flying up into my face. So I keep this piece of tape on there, and occasionally I just change it. You can see it's all dusty from whatever I've been grinding or filing with this. Has a ton of power. These belts are great, these Makita belts that I buy. I always buy a 10-pack of belts, and I always mark on the side so that for easy reference when I'm looking for one, I can see what size I need. But I buy 40, 80, and 120 grit. And these are the 3/8 by 21, and I run them on the 3/8 arm, which it comes standard with. So you can buy 40, 60, 80, 100, or 120 grit. Now, if I had any complaints about this tool, there would be two things. One would be that dust ejection port. I wish there was either a little flap on there already, pretty minor because that piece of tape works extremely well for me. And the other thing is the variety of belts available. The 40 grit is great. I mean, I very rarely need something more aggressive than that, but 120 is just not fine enough for the work that I do. Because I build armor, blades, other weapons, sometimes I need this finessing tool to be able to like just point right into a small space, and I want to run like 600 grit. I would love it if Makita was making a 600 grit belt. That would be one addition that I would love to see on this tool. All right, now that we've gone over the pros and cons, let me just show you quickly how I would use it. First of all, I'm going to show you how I like to mount it in the bench, because that's one of the things that I do so frequently. Is just mount this just in the soft jaw I always use a soft jaw on this because I don't want to scratch up my tool. I'm pretty proud of my tools, so I like to keep them in good working order, and that's how I protect them. So always a rubber soft jaw, then I can get a nice solid grip on that. You can see that ejection port, how it would spray right up at me. So this piece of tape allows the dust to hit it and just spray down. So the next thing I would do is push the trigger in and then depress the button. I can now use this like a little belt sander. The other thing you can do is use the top of it. So that's how I frequently use it. If I've got something in the vise, I typically hold on to it like this, and I pull the trigger. I literally just use it as a file. Because the belt is so small, I don't even have to hang on to this stuff very heavily. It's an easy one-handed operation, and it does an amazing job of just smoothing out that steel. Without changing belts, I can use it on a piece of wood. Now, as I said, I've had this for a lot of years, and this pad is in extremely good shape. It heats up a little bit, but even after using it, I can still touch this with my thumb. This ball, I haven't had to replace it, and I use this on a daily basis, and I have used it on a daily basis for about 5 years, this particular one. Well, I hope you enjoyed my very first tool review. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. They really help my channel. If you enjoy my videos, give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you next week where I build something cool and more tool reviews to come.